about to walk into a room, a party, a meeting, a gathering of people you don't know well. And before you even step through the door, your mind has already started. What will they think of me? Do I look okay? What if I say something stupid? What if they notice I'm nervous? What if they're all judging me right now and I don't even know it? You felt this? We all have. The fear of being judged is one of the oldest anxieties in the human experience. It has shaped how we dress, how we speak, how we live, how we hide. But what if I told you there was a man who conquered this fear so completely that he lived in a barrel in the middle of Athens, ate in public, insulted kings, and genuinely did not care what anyone thought of him? His name was Diogenes, and the freedom he found was so radical that even Alexander the Great, the most powerful man on earth, was humbled by it. Tonight, let's explore what Diogenes knew about the fear of being judged, and more importantly, how you can use it to set yourself free. Diogenes was not born in a barrel. He was once a wealthy man from the city of Sinope, but after a scandal involving the defacing of currency, he was exiled. He lost everything: his home, his status, his reputation, his future. And then something remarkable happened. Instead of being crushed by the loss, he felt liberated. He realized that all the things he had been clinging to, money, status, reputation, the approval of others, were chains. And now, the chains were gone. He moved to Athens and chose a life of radical simplicity. He lived in a large ceramic jar, owned nothing but a cloak and a staff, and spent his days walking the streets, challenging everyone he met, from beggars to emperors. His philosophy became known as cynicism, but not cynicism the way we use the word today, not bitterness or pessimism. For Diogenes, being a cynic meant living in accordance with nature, rejecting society's rules, refusing to be controlled by the opinions of others. He believed that the fear of being judged was one of the most powerful chains holding people back, and he made it his mission to break that chain in himself and in everyone he met. Diogenes did things that shocked people, not for attention, but to prove a point. He ate in the marketplace, something considered shameful in Greek society. When people stared, he shrugged. If it is not shameful to eat, why should it be shameful to eat in public? The judgment of others meant nothing to him. He walked through Athens in broad daylight, holding a lit lamp. When people asked what he was doing, he said, "I am looking for an honest man." He was not afraid to call out hypocrisy, even if it made people uncomfortable. He publicly mocked Plato's philosophy, disrupted lectures, and once brought a plucked chicken into Plato's academy, declaring, "Behold, Plato's man," mocking Plato's definition of a human as a featherless biped. He insulted Alexander the Great to his face. The most powerful man in the world came to visit him. Alexander stood over him and said, "I am Alexander the Great. Ask me anything, and I will give it to you." Diogenes, lying in the sun, barely looked up. "Stand out of my sunlight," he said. Alexander, instead of being enraged, was awed. He turned to his generals and said, "If I were not Alexander, I would wish to be Diogenes." Why? Because Diogenes had something Alexander could never conquer: a mind completely free from the opinions of others. So what did Diogenes understand that we have forgotten? He understood that the fear of being judged is not about what others think of you. It is about what you think of yourself. When you are insecure about something, the judgment of others becomes a mirror that reflects your own doubts back at you. When you are secure in who you are, their judgment becomes irrelevant. He understood that reputation is not freedom, it is a cage. The more you try to control what others think of you, the more you become a slave to their opinions. Diogenes was free because he had nothing to protect, no image to maintain, no status to defend. He understood that authenticity is more powerful than approval. People respect those who are unapologetically themselves, even if they don't agree with them. Alexander was surrounded by people who told him what he wanted to hear. Diogenes told him the truth, and that truth was more valuable than any flattery. Diogenes once said, "It is the privilege of the gods to want nothing, and of godlike men to want little." When you stop needing the approval of others, you become godlike, you become free. So how do you apply Diogenes' radical freedom to your own life without living in a barrel? Start small. The next time you're in a public space, notice the subtle ways you adjust your behavior because of who might be watching. Do you sit differently, speak differently, hide parts of yourself? Just notice it. Awareness is the first step. Try a small act of deliberate authenticity. Wear something you love that's slightly unconventional. Speak up in a meeting when you'd normally stay quiet. Share an opinion you've been holding back. Notice the fear. Do it anyway. When you catch yourself spiraling about what someone might think of you, ask yourself, whose life am I living, theirs or mine? Because every moment you spend worrying about their judgment is a moment you have given them power over your life. Diogenes' freedom was not about having nothing. It was about needing nothing, especially the approval of others. And that is a freedom available to you right now, today. So tonight, when you find yourself worrying about what someone thinks of you, remember Diogenes. Remember the man who lived in a barrel and told the most powerful emperor on earth to step aside. Remember that the fear of being judged is a chain, and chains can be broken. Remember that authenticity is a superpower. The people who are most themselves are the people the world remembers. You are not here to perform for others. You are not here to manage their opinions. You are here to live fully, radically, unapologetically. Diogenes once said, "The foundation of every state is the education of its youth, but the foundation of every free life is the courage to be yourself, no matter who is watching." If this left you a little braver than before, you know where to find us. The Calmest Room is always open. New videos every week. Close your eyes, take one breath, and ask yourself, whose life am I living?